There we
All right,
go.
we're live. Yeah, maybe he's like, just like, that's the one thing though. You can't really catch up on Pomodoros. Like,
No.
like it takes the time.
Yep. It's like being paid hourly.
There's no cheating the system. Yeah.
What? So you guys are just doing this week then? The Pomodoro contest?
Yeah, that was the plan, was to just do a competition this week, and then
Okay.
Manny was talking about wanting to do one like for the Entreprogrammer group, to do some kind of thing like we did before with the quotas, but maybe which I think would be cool. It'd be good. As I've been doing the Pomodoro, like getting really back into it and being disciplined about it. That's the key. I've been finding it to be. I forgot how great it is for productivity. Like it's a.
Either you froze or I
Amazing.
froze. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, it's just been like insane how productive I've been, and how easy. Like once you get into the pattern, it becomes so routine and so easy, where I'm just not having any struggle with getting work done now. It's just going.
Nice.
And when you're done, you're done. So
yeah, it's kind of like the writing daily thing. Like if you do it every day.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I mean it instead of taking an hour to get going, it takes maybe 3 minutes. And muscles stay warmed up.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the benefit of it. And I've been really strict about, like, just no email and no social media and really no phone until the work is at least the 10 is done for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes a huge difference, because those little distractions, little sucks of your time and your attention, if your focus really is what kills you, you don't even realize it. So
yeah, I wish that I would really like for more granular controls over locking, because I use the Apple has the, I forget what they call it, but there's a feature where you can basically disable apps after a certain time, like within a certain time window. So I have at 9 o'clock, I have kind of like the iron curtain goes down. Oh, there's Manny and Chuck. Yeah, so like 9 p.m. the iron curtain goes down and it locks down most of the apps on my phone, and then they stay locked down till the next morning. But it would be nice to be able to set that on a per app basis, or have different time windows and stuff, because it's just because there's some things that where like I definitely need to use my phone.
Yeah.
And then but then there's some apps where it's like okay, so like if I'm tracking calories, right? I'm going to be using calorie tracking app.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I need to be on YouTube. Excuse me. Or
right.
Instagram or something.
Yeah, I found that the best way, like, I don't use any kind of the apps that lock you out or like disable your internet or anything like that, because what I found was that if I'm using, that's like an external like motivation or external like stimuli, and I found that I'm too clever for that. Like if I remove Facebook from my phone, then I'll just use the web version, right? Like it'll eventually happen. So instead, by just having the rule and then building that into a habit and then making that seems to work better, where it's like I'm not doing it because I have to. I'm doing it because I've chosen that thing.
So does that make you a clever programmer?
No, what makes you a clever programmer is getting people to run promotions for you and then holding on to their money.
I swear I'm gonna
for a long time.
I am gonna kill that boy. What the fuck? He needs to pay. He paid the first part, but he needs to Yeah, it's really. I'm gonna have to have a talk with him.
Poke at a sore spot.
Jeez. How much is he holding on to?
He's owes about $5,000 right now, so he paid out 30. So, but yeah, next time I meet with him, I'm gonna have a talk with him about.
Well, he paid out the major chunk though.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it doesn't.
eventually.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And it doesn't matter.
John drove up to LA with a lead pipe, and then
Yeah.
and then
Well,
the money appeared.
It was like I don't know. I mean, it's just how we do business. I mean, I think I don't know remember if me and you were having this discussion, Josh, or I was having it with someone else. But I was like, if you do a promotion with us, and and you're doing an affiliate promotion with us, when you get paid will be the very day after the promotion ends. Like it'll be instantly, like immediately.
Yeah.
We're gonna, because there's no point
Right.
fucking around. And I don't like to fuck with other people's money, especially the thing is, and the biggest frustration is like, it's just tracking the shit down, right? If you have a date, like I don't even have problems with people paying
A lot
like
of people
net
are
30.
set up for like 30-day payouts, right? But if you know that's 30-day payout, that's
Yeah,
probably
like
different from-
If you tell me you'll be paid in 30 days, and I put on my calendar, and on day 30 the payment shows up, I don't have any problem, right? It's like, but the problem is that you can't trust more people to do that often, and then it becomes like, if I have to track you down, then it's an issue, right?
I mean,
Like-
isn't he using one of the automated affiliate tracking systems that do this automatically? Like, why is this a problem? What's he using for affiliates? What's the software he's using?
Samcard.
Yeah, Samcard is automatic.
Yeah, it has automatic.
Yeah, it does.
Why is he fucking around with that?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, Samcard is like even better than Thrivecard with all of those things.
Yes, it is.
Boy, I really put you off on a tangent.
Chuck's like, oh, this green festering pus. Let's push on that.
Yeah, I just didn't know it was green festering pus.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I mean, again, it's not a huge deal. It's just disappointing, because if you want to work with people in the future, they've got to, this brings back old chapters where we were trying to get invoices from sponsors. I mean, this is where we moved to the whole basically policy of, nope, you pay up front, otherwise do business with us. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I do with the sponsors. It's like, they're like, where's our ad? And I'm like, where's my money?
And people are like, oh, no one else asked for this.
I get that too.
Don't really give a fuck.
And guess how many people have ever walked because of that? Nobody else asked for this. Well, I do. I've had like one person ever walk.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go finagle some stuff with my boss. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, it's just kind of business sense practices that you have to learn, right? It's like, again, I mean, it's just a matter of like, there's people that you can count on that that they're going to do what they're saying they're going to do and supposed to do, and it's it's a highly valuable attribute to have if you want to do business deals with people, right? It's like, once someone doesn't trust what you're saying, then it's really hard to like do.
And this shit gets around. So you do it once, and then other people know about it, and now you're screwed. So you don't want to mess around with that shit.
Yeah, sometimes like the whole world that's listening to a podcast.
Yeah, you have 5,000 people, 2,000 people listening to stuff like this, and they realize what's going on. It's just not good. It's not good. Good business ethics.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. But again, I don't mean to knock Kazi. He's a good guy, and he's he's young. He's learning the ropes in business, and cash flow is an issue, and budgeting and all of that stuff. And so, but it's important to, like I said, next time I see him, I'm gonna give him some shit. So
you're gonna make him do 300 pounds bench, 300-pound bench until he can't do it anymore.
Pretty much, just gonna drop it on him.
Just sit in the corner and think about what you did or didn't do in this case.
So, how's your Pomodoros looking, Manny?
Shit, man. I picked the worst possible week. Being in India, like
I was wondering.
Yeah, that's like horrible. Let me see. It's not that bad though. I know. I mean, I'm probably behind like 6 or 7 compared to you right now.
Oh, you can make that up.
It
No,
ends.
dude, it's so hard to make that shit up.
Yeah, you
Oh
can't
my
make
God.
Yeah, it is.
it. Ends today, right? Because
No, it's the whole week.
yeah, it started on Saturday.
No. It was still, well, we'll have to look at our WhatsApp messages. From what I remember, it was like the whole thing.
It started 1 week ago.
Right.
Like I think this is the final day.
Wait, you made a
No,
deal with
no,
the John?
Yeah. No, John, don't do that. It wasn't that. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the messages.
At
I
the
thought it was
WhatsApp
through the
message.
week.
Look at your WhatsApp message. It
For
was
me, it
this,
was the whole week, as in like till Monday, like till Sunday, whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
So,
you messaged me on Saturday night while I was in an Uber, and like let's start the competition. So, I actually have lost a day, but
let me take a look at these messages.
okay.
And
Well,
who
we
else
do
wants to
have,
participate?
we have time zone issues here to
Yeah, that's
consider. So
possibly a big one.
Well, but it's a day. Time zone doesn't matter if you're doing by days, right? Like you see what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like if it's Saturday, if it starts on Saturday, it starts on Saturday. It doesn't your Saturday, whatever it is. It doesn't
Okay, look
matter.
at this. Okay.
Okay.
we're gonna need to have an arbitrator step in here and.
No.
I've got from the 13th
Hold on.
from the 13th
Hold on.
to the 19th.
Hold on. Take a look.
Okay. What day is that?
From today.
Anyway,
until
it doesn't
next
matter. Till what?
Till next
So it's
Sunday.
the competition from today till next Sunday. So that was Saturday.
That's it. Till next Sunday, though. Remember.
Okay, so
Well-
tomorrow then is the last day. Saturday is
No,
the last day.
Sunday.
When you
Sunday.
say, yeah,
No.
I don't know. That's pretty.
No.
This is like one of those math
like-
problems on the SAT where they
No,
give you
this is
literally like
simple. Yeah.
the inclusive, like
No,
how
no.
many fence posts are there in the row? If there's 8 segments, how many fence posts are there? There's 8.
This is simple. I can answer any of those problems. Okay. It just goes like this. If you check into a hotel and you say, I'm going to stay from Monday until Wednesday, it means that you check out on Wednesday. It means that you stay Monday night, Tuesday night. That's it. 2 nights.
No,
Come
So-
on, Manny.
Wednesday's
John just
still
wants to
involved,
check
because
out.
it's
So
till Wednesday.
if you say till Sunday, then that's the
But
end.
Sunday, 12
It's
p.m. is
always
still involved.
Guys, Josh and I really appreciate you entertaining us like this. It's great.
So you want in as well now?
What?
We only need to get 100, Manny, or Chuck. We only need to make up 100 pomodoros between now and Sunday, or,
Oh, is that
or
all?
possibly Saturday.
No, I'm seriously looking at the 10 pomodoros a day thing, but this week with the travel and the conference and the way that everything was set up, it was just really hard to figure out how to do it those days. And next week I'm going on vacation with my family, so I'm going to miss the call for 2 weeks, and I'm going to be on the road, and I'm not really going to be working, so I'm probably going to start doing it after that because I really love the productivity gains of doing pomodoros. But yeah.
So what's your total count then? Starting what, Saturday? Last Saturday.
Let me give you the count.
Okay.
I shouldn't give you the count, so I can keep you in the dark till that last moment. And then I can spring a surprise on you, like, hey, look, I did 24 pomodoros yesterday. Okay, 13.
And then Manny sleeps for a week and a half after that.
26. And then I have a flight to catch the next day. That's perfect. It
That's a
started
long flight,
last
too.
Saturday, right?
Yeah.
13, 216, 226, 32. Who wants in on this next time?
So just to clarify the rules that we had decided was $100 to the person who gets the most pomodoros, and then penalty of $30 additional per.
No, I wanted that to be the only one, but now now we have 2 of them. Damn.
I love
to-
the retroactive contract negotiation.
I know.
Wait, that's not what it meant.
and then $30 for each gap, each Pomodoro in excess.
Oh my god, it was two separate deals. I mean, it was like initially it was like, oh, only $100 to the winner, but then I was like, no, it's better to just do 30 per extra because that makes like it much more competitive than just $100 and it's over.
Okay, so you're saying that your intent was to make it just the $30
per Pomodoro, because then it makes it much more cleaner in some ways to like,
I like the way Manny.
Okay, I see what you're
argues for a
saying. You
discount.
were substituting the original winner gets $100 to a scalable system, not to have both. Okay.
So then it's always competitive, no matter what. Even if you lost, you're still gonna hustle and get as much money as you can.
You're right, because you're saving money then. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
I will accept the terms retroactively.
Okay, so I'm looking.
This is why you do contract negotiations over email. You get it in writing, like, and you send it to your lawyer. And you said to your lawyer, and your lawyer's like, "Yeah, that's kind of ambiguous there. You could interpret that either way to make it clear."
Okay, so it started last Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
6, 9, 15. Okay, I have 47 right now.
I've got 64 right now.
Oh my god.
I've got 4 this morning already.
Okay, Manny. Let's think about this.
Okay, Manny, you did negotiate your $100 discount. So.
Who in the group ran a marathon with a broken rib?
No, not that bad. But I just have to stay up all night today. That's all.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Do they have energy drinks in India?
17 hours. 17 hours. 17 Pomodoros. That is what, 8 hours? That's it. It's not that bad.
It's got to be focused work too, Manny.
It's focused. It's pounding Red Bull after Red Bull after Red Bull.
Okay, I haven't even been counting coaching calls or any of that stuff into here. This is
I didn't even get to count like 2 hours of my productive, like real focus time I got on my flight today. So fuck, I couldn't do that because I couldn't turn on the Pomodoro because I was on a flight. So I got dinged for that, even though it was work that I did without Wi-Fi, which is really good quality work.
The excuses.
Unless it's internet research.
So you're going to take the weekend off though, right?
No.
You're going to have to get more creative if you want another discount.
I'm traveling on Sunday, so since we've now
that's why he's trying to get out of the Sunday thing.
No.
Even though it's still Sunday.
Week competition is usually a week. It's usually a duration from a Saturday to in fact, it should end today. I'm giving you an extra day by giving you tomorrow.
Till next Sunday. That was the whole point of it. Till next Sunday. Because I knew I had a Monday flight to catch. So Sunday is the time. Like I have to get everything done by Sunday.
Yeah, till next Sunday. Not inclusive. That's an exclusive.
Yeah, I have to agree with John on this one.
Yeah.
When you give someone a deadline, okay, you need to do it
by
31st. That means 31st is included usually.
Yes,
you have till 31st to get it done.
But till is a different.
You have till 31st to get this done. That means 31st is included.
No,
it's ambiguous.
It is.
Like I'm going to be on vacation until August 3rd. We're getting home August 3rd.
Yeah, so that's why I said if you go to the simple interpretation is you will never ever call a hotel to make a reservation and say I'm staying from Monday till Wednesday, and they say, okay, yep, got you down for Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night.
Yeah, but they do let you stay half the day on Wednesday.
Because that's Thursday afternoon, because you're still saying Thursday. Till Sunday means Sunday included. And since you're traveling...
You guys should probably finish this via email.
Yeah.
the way things are going right now.
The way
a better lawyer.
The way that a legal agreement would be interpreted when it's ambiguous would be based on the spirit of the
That's right. Because
and
I'm traveling starting Monday.
A week. The intent was a week.
No, there was no week. It was always till Sunday in my mind. It was like Sunday. I want to end it on Sunday because I'm traveling on Monday.
So your intention was to have an 8-day competition.
It was still Sunday. I wanted to finish.
Or actually, a 9-day competition. A 9-day.
I just love that the canonical reference for this is whatever Manny thought.
It was till Sunday. It was till Sunday. That was our was. It was not 7 days, 8 days, or 9 days. It was still Sunday.
Gosh.
I'm
I've-
really
I've-
not trying to make this better. I'm just enjoying it. So.
I've seated you Saturday and $100 so far. I'm not going to seat you Sunday. Sorry.
Let's split the difference here, guys. Guys, let's split the difference, okay?
How do you split the difference on this step? It's Sunday.
You cut the baby in half. Sunday at noon.
The only reason why John doesn't want to do Sunday is because he's traveling.
Right, and that's why I agreed to the thing to end on Sunday for
I
1
just
week.
did 2 days of traveling here.
All right, fine. You know what? I'm gonna give you Sunday. I'm gonna give you Sunday. I'm gonna save you
a few
bucks.
$100. That's all.
Okay.
I'm gonna save myself
Hey
a
Manny,
few
do you want to come negotiate with some of my sponsors? Because I think I could double what I'm getting.
$100. You might want to read "Never Split the Difference."
I've read it. It's good.
John, you should probably read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, John needs to read some
There's
negotiation.
certain Josh. There's certain battles that are worth fighting, and certain battles that are not worth fighting.
That's how he starts the book.
So.
Oh man, this was getting
so
expensive very quickly.
So I modified my process also. That is also.
So your Pomodoro is only 15 minutes long now.
Yes. That's, so I added something to do every Friday now. I'm doing a Friday review. I'm using Process Street. You guys heard of that? Process Street?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
And
I got it for free from AppSumo.
Okay, yeah, it's like a checklist, software. Like you can build process documents and stuff for your business and have them.
I've had a few people recommend it to me when I was building my
That's
processes.
good.
But what I did was, and I'm gonna start using it more. But I created a. Let me see if I can bring it up. Shoot, what the heck? That's weird. Like I signed it. Oh, we have one created, Josh, for our organization.
That's why.
But okay, I know, because I have one at john@bulldogmindset.com now too. Okay, which it didn't save the name. So I created one for a weekly review. So every Friday, what I'm doing now is basically going through a checklist where I'm putting in how many Pomodoros were done this week, putting in the number. What's the most successful YouTube video from last week? Not this week, but last week. So I'm looking.
John, real quick on when you put in the Pomodoro number, does it include last Friday's Pomodoros? Or because if you're doing this in the morning, right? Like,
it's at the end of the
John
day.
needs to get all of these figured out before he does these things.
Yeah,
that's right, John. Does it end at midnight or does it end the next morning when you get up?
It doesn't matter as long as it's a 7-day period.
7-day period.
That's all that matters, right?
But if it ends on Sunday,
now, normally when you have like a week-long competition, it actually lasts a week. The actual days don't matter, but it's a week.
There was no mention of week. There was only a mention of Sunday.
I regret this. I regret my comment deeply.
Yes, because 9-day. Normally you would do like a 9-day competition.
Because I'm traveling on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm flying back. I couldn't.
All right, so John, your process, your weekly review.
Okay. So then question 2 was, what was the most successful YouTube video last week? So I don't look at the current week. I look at the previous week, right? Because I have all the data from that. And then I just go back and I look and I see what got the most views. And then I've got a field to put in the YouTube video and then the title there. So I can kind of review this way. I know, okay, well, that was what was successful, right? Otherwise you're not going to know because if you don't look at it, right? Then I do the same thing. What was the most successful Instagram post last week? And then what are the 3 biggest wins for this week? And I fill those out. What are the 3 biggest losses for this week? What is the number 1 goal for next week? What are 3 process improvements for next week? And I might actually reduce this down to 1 or 2 because there might not always be 3 might be. But for now, I think 3. So this way I'm constantly thinking about, okay, of this system, of the process that I'm doing, how can, it's to sharpen the saw essentially. And then the last one is books completed. So I'm making a list of the books that I completed during that week. And so the plan is every Friday that I just automatically fill this out, and then I can go back and I can review these and see, for historical data, what get trends on what YouTube videos, and just to make sure that mostly I'm thinking about these things, like what were the wins, what were the losses, what's the goal, right?
There's a mastermind coming up in Vegas on Saturday. You might want to go to.
On Saturday?
That is tomorrow.
What mastermind is that?
You should go so that you can not spend
The let
time
Manny
on
get
Pomodoro.
ahead mastermind.
Okay.
There's one in LA too. If you want to go to LA,
yeah,
you should go to the one in LA right after the one in Vegas.
Right after today, right after this call today, you should go to some masterminds.
Nice.
Oh man. Well, I'm done traveling.
How's the running going?
The running?
Yep.
Really well, actually. Wednesday's run was supposed to be a massive beatdown, and I actually finished it. When I finished it, I was pretty wiped out, but I recovered super fast, and the next morning I went for another run.
Really? Oh, nice. Oh, good.
And I'm feeling really, really good. I'm doing another 5K on Wednesday next week. My mom wanted to do a 5K with me, and so we signed up. And then I was like, okay, so, I'm like, did you want me to run with you? Because I will. Or did you want me to just, pick you up and then meet you at the finish line? And she's like, well, you're going to run it way faster than me, so just meet me at the finish line. So I'm probably going to get another split and see how much I've improved.
Do you want to run with me? Because I will run with you and crush your spirits.
One Pomodoro at a time, right? So yeah, I would have just kept pace with her, whatever she was doing. But yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. This 5K though, it's the temple to temple run. It's from the Provo Temple to the Provo City Center Temple in Provo, and the whole thing is downhill. The Provo Temple, where it starts, it's like way up on one of the foothills, and so it's a massive downhill run down into downtown Provo. So
okay, well, I mean, run it as fast as you can. I mean, it'll be obviously faster than
Save your knees.
normal. Yeah, but it'll still give you a good idea of where you're at and what your pace should be. So
well, and I think my coach needs to up my intensity a little bit more. So
yeah,
if I get a good split, then she probably will. So
are you tracking your heart rate when you're running?
Not really. I mean, my watch does it for me, but
what do you know what your average heart rate, like what you're seeing is?
I could look. I don't know if it's I think the Garmin app captures that, but yeah. But man, running, fitting the runs in around the conferences and stuff, that was a little bit rough.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's tough. Anytime I travel, the run is pain, especially if I've got a long Sunday run, like a 17 or 18 mile run, then it's just because that's 4 hours, basically 3-4 hours.
Yeah. Where are my runs in here? Oh, there we go.
So do you have your Pomodoro timer on right now?
Me? No.
High quality mastermind call.
This doesn't count.
Besides, you said he could do 12-minute Pomodoros, so
yeah. I don't even count it when I'm coaching people, when I'm doing coaching calls, which is
how about my 5-minute Pomodoros?
All right. So the run on Wednesday, my maximum heart rate was 165 and my average heart rate was 140.
Okay. Yeah. So that's good. Around 140 should be about what you should be trying to stay at or under.
Yeah, it has a training effect here. I don't know if that's like my heart rate zone or something else, but it was 3.1, whatever that means.
Okay, yeah, it's basically like your how long you sustained a heart rate at endurance level pace. So,
but it's nice because it splits it all out for me. So yeah, it looks like the entire run was almost 2 hours, and I spent 3.5 minutes in zone 1. I'm assuming that's when I was warming up. 12.5 minutes in zone 2, 53 minutes in zone 3, and 46.5 minutes in zone 4.
Yeah,
and 2 seconds in zone 5. That's what I love about machines. They like track. Okay, well, yeah, it's the 2 seconds I dismiss, but it tracked it. So, yeah, but yeah, so it's going well. I'm feeling good.
Nice.
I haven't weighed myself in a week and a half because I've been in Portland and I didn't have my scale with me. So I'm kind of curious to see how much weight I've lost too, because I feel like I've lost weight, but I don't know. I don't know if that's in my head or if realistically I have. So,
Oh,
I get
are you guys
cold
doing
more.
this blockchain promotion right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for Gregory's.
How's that going?
We are starting it on Tuesday.
Oh, so this is just entry into his webinar?
What do you mean?
The email that you sent out today?
No, it was that was a interview we like a pre launch content.
Pre-content?
So, it's YouTube.
It'll
YouTube
technically
interview.
Yeah, it'll technically drop into the same funnel because he's got a sign up for his what is it?
Email?
His email, of course. So
I want to do a promo with him kind of wrapped around the blockchain podcast when we get that launched, because that's going to happen here within the next couple weeks. So.
We're doing something cool with this one. We're going to try to answer once and for all the question of whether it's better to send somebody into their funnel or just promote the offer directly on our end. So I'm splitting the list. We're doing a clean A/B split.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to do 50%. We're going to send in his evergreen funnel. So it's a free 3-day video series sign up that goes into like an 8-day sale promotion. And then we're going to do a 3-day direct promotion. So the offer will be the same. It's like $500 off, $500 price point. And then we'll see if it's better to send the traffic directly to their sales page from our side, or if it works better to split it off and have it go through their sales funnel. So
what's on their sales page in terms of is it a full-blown sales video?
He's got like a 10-minute sales video on there, and then we edited a version of it, so we stuck a 30-second intro from John on the page. So the first thing you'll see when you go to the page is actually John, not Gregory. And then John just basically introduces him, and then it's like a 10-minute sales video, and then he's got this full sales page with more details about the course. Yeah, so this will be interesting. I'm very curious to see how
what's
how
your number?
Well, it's going to be we won't know actually for at least 2 weeks, because his we'll get numbers from our direct promotion next week.
No, what's your estimate? What's your paper?
What's mine?
Yeah. What does your paper say?
I haven't written it down yet, but I think I haven't written it down yet. I think it's going to be 10K. I think it's going to be 10K.
I think
Total?
it's going to be more than 10K.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 10K.
my prediction is 25K.
Yeah,
I'd say somewhere in 15 to 20K.
We did just with with Kazi's promotion, we did essentially, we think we did 35K, maybe more, but
well,
at least
yeah,
35K.
Yeah, 30.
But that was at 100% commission rate. So if you cut that in half, then it's 17.5K on that.
Yeah, I'm saying 10K total gross sales. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, gross! Wow.
Yeah, gross. Yeah.
I'm assuming John meant.
I meant profit.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
John's saying 50K gross.
We need to get this in email.
No, sorry. I mean 25K gross sales. I mean 25K. Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll be 10.
10 gross.
Yeah, gross.
You
Why
think
do you-
this will
I
do
think
less
blockchain
than
is pretty hard.
Kazi's?
Yep, I do. Because Python is the number one most desired developer anything right now.
Hmm.
And
That's-
Dude, Bitcoin.
yeah, I know that is the X factor here is how.
I am betting on Bitcoin right now in terms of the fact that people will just do it because people love to be and stuff like that. So I'm definitely more on John's numbers, more than 10K.
I'm betting on
think-
two things. One is the Bitcoin side of it that people want to become blockchain developer, and this is basically a tutorial, like a start. Like you don't have to know anything about it. This appeals to beginners and to intermediates and advanced because it's become a blockchain developer. And then the second thing that I'm betting on is Gregory himself, because he's like his funnel is good. Like he and just his previous performance. I mean, for him to do an 80K launch on a 5K email list, like 6K email list, that's pretty damn good. So he's got yeah. So that's what I'm betting on is those two things.
Yeah.
Well, and what's funny is I've basically talked him into letting me put together the top or the very top of his funnel with this podcast. So I'm excited to see where it goes though. So
Yes, yeah, I'll be curious. I mean, the pitch is really like the pitch that he's come up with is basically like I've kind of picked up from the interview that he did with John is pretty. I think it is pretty compelling. It's like basically, what if you could go back to 1997 and be one of the very first web developers, like kind of sitting on that trend, right? Like, what would that look like? And that's kind of where blockchain is.
yeah, I mean,
Except that it's only 10 years later.
yeah, it's a question of when it's going to break through, like when it's going to hit.
Well, it's
in terms
of being a developer.
Yeah, well, that's the trick too. Is that, I mean, it's gaining momentum there, but it's still not. It's not the kind of hot technology that you see with some of the other stuff.
Right. This is like the big, but that's the whole point. Is it's like the gold rush hasn't happened yet for being a blockchain developer. For having Bitcoin, you're already too.
you're way past.
You're
Shit.
late.
I just went through my email because I was looking for blockchain and Bitcoin stuff, and oh fuck, I found this email from like 2013 where I emailed one of my friends that owns this Magic the Gathering website, and he was taking Bitcoin on there, right? And I had emailed him and I said, "Oh man, you must be pretty happy right now." And I linked to him a CNN article that showed that Bitcoin was now $110. And I was like, man, when you started this, it was like just it was like a few dollars, right? It was like Bitcoins were like $2 or $3. I hope you're holding on to all those Bitcoins you got, you know? And then, you know, he had emailed me back and he was like, no, I just immediately sell the Bitcoins as soon as I get them. And then I was just like, yeah, you know what? And this is 2013. I'm like, I thought you'd be all about this Bitcoin stuff. It's like, since you're libertarian and this is like, you know, I really think this is the future. I think that this you know, distributed currency is gonna be big. So you might want to hang on to some of these. And of course, I'm saying that, but I'm not hanging on to them. And I'm like, you know, I did the math. I'm like, well, shit, if I would have invested $10,000 in Bitcoin at that point when they were $100, holy shit balls. So,
yeah, but it
Mr.
wasn't a
Butler.
sure enough bet for you to just go out and go, this is a no-brainer.
No,
mean,
but it would have been
a-
okay to throw $1,000 into.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah, that yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, well, if it goes to zero, then I'm out the money.
Yeah.
How many other cryptocurrencies are there though? Too is the thing.
Well, at the time there wasn't, right? That was it. So it wasn't like you. And anyway, if you even if there were a couple other ones, like if you invested in any of them at that time, you would have been, you know. But the boat is gone now. Like there's people saying that the boat hasn't left yet, they're full of shit. They're like, yeah, like they're just hoping and dreaming, right? It's not
Yeah.
like, I'm not saying that it couldn't possibly go up and whatnot, but at this point, it's like, it's completely pure speculation at this point. So
Yeah.
But as far as being a developer, that is still in the very, very, like, I mean, the future is going to be blockchain. There's no doubt about it in my mind that in the future, all real estate contracts, all legal contracts, any kind of, transactional,
like any kind of Pomodoro contest contract.
right? Exactly. We see, we would, if we would have had this on Ethereum, if we would have had an Ethereum contract, it would have been exactly precise. We would have known exactly. Right?
I agree.
And the money would have gotten transferred automatically. It would have just been like, it was just executed.
There you go.
So.
Yeah, I do have a question that I wanted to bring up. So I've been reading Good to Great. I've actually been reading it on my Kindle app on my iPad because I've been doing the 75 hard, and you can't listen to the audiobook and it doesn't count. So I actually been reading 10 pages a day, which I think is really a better way to consume it, actually. I get way more out of it, I think. But anyway, I've been looking at a lot of the stuff that I'm doing just from the lens of trying to figure out, what are you passionate about and what can you be best in the world at and what drives your economic engine. And we've talked a lot about a lot of these different things. And I just barely finished the chapter on technology, and it made me feel good about kind of the direction that we're heading. But I guess the thing that I'm kind of struggling with at this point is just figuring out. I kind of figured out, from the Hedgehog concept stuff that I really needed to focus more on the podcasts and the sponsorships and, possibly products depending on how I do that. But I'm still kind of formulating that and making sure that it fits in with the, those ideas. But Podwrench, he talks about technology being an accelerator for what you're good at, what your core thing is for your company. And so I think I have the right idea in building it, but I'm having a hard time prioritizing it. And I think that's the right move. But then I still want to keep the ball rolling there. So I'm trying to find that balance, and I'm not sure what it looks like. And I'm wondering if you guys have input on that.
I'll give you mine, which is that the reason why you're having that problem is because, are you coding on Podwrench?
Not really.
So you've got a developer that's
yes.
So then what do you have to do for Podwrench?
I've been wanting to code on Podwrench. I haven't been, but I've been wanting to. It's like, oh, but I need this done. And some of it, like, so the sponsorship part of it, where or the things that affect sponsorship directly. So basically the UIs around sponsorship, like the system already works. So I just need to clean up the UI and, get the podcast tracking pieces done, because then I can give better information to my sponsors.
But see, the thing is, you don't need to do any of that.
I could pay him to do that. That's true.
Right. So, and if you can't afford to pay him to do that, then it's not what you should be working on. Right. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like you should build out the business and make more money on the thing that makes you money before you invest in that.
The whole idea of the flywheel is doing the damn thing that's working.
Yes.
Not being distracted by another thing that has a new project, which you don't know if it'll work or not. Unless, I mean, at this
thing
point,
is I really want it because it'll accelerate all of the other things, and it'll the payoff will be that we will be able to make more money and have lower margin on each podcast, because a lot of this stuff, it just gets handled by the software.
If you're that sure,
let's estimate the exact savings you could have if you had Podwrench working exactly the way you think it should be working.
Okay.
How much is it? What do you think? Take a guess. compared to the same time invested if you started or grew another podcast.
Yeah, that's fair. I kind of want to sit down and actually hammer it out and see some real numbers. And you're asking me for kind of a gut feel number.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of inclined to agree with you that, you know, the numbers are probably going to skew more toward just having people work on stuff, like having
You
people
just
do the
you
work.
just need a new toy. That's what's going on. You just need something new to play with, and you want a distraction.
I've been working on this thing forever.
You're
I know.
getting bored of picking up $100 bills off
Yeah.
the ground. You're like, fuck, I need to maybe, I
Those
don't know.
I need to
$5
jump
bills
up
look
for the
nice.
$1 bills.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
check-
I really haven't put a ton of time or money into it.
I think
But-
like part of the tension I think with Podwrench is, so you've got what makes you money is sponsorships, and then like Podwrench, I think the way that like the grand vision of Podwrench is like this all-in-one workflow publishing solution for podcasting, right?
Yeah, but I really just want it to solve my problem. Then I'll figure
Right.
out.
That's
I'll-
what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I think starting with like, okay, instead of having like, if you're building a sponsorship app versus a podcast publishing app, those are completely different feature sets,
Yeah.
right? And if you start like, you're kind of drifting over towards the other feature set, and that's where it gets to be a distraction. If you can like go, okay, well, there's this one thing around sponsorship that we don't have now that is really causing us a lot of friction, and we like fixing that does make sense.
Yeah.
But going and like, you know, working on like I don't know, like uploading, you know, the uploading and editing workflow or something like that doesn't.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Right. And
Yeah.
you might eventually get there, but it's kind of like, which side are you working at it from?
No, that makes sense. So. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, for the most part, I haven't spent a ton of time or money on it, so it's.
I mean, it sounds like the things you've already built have been
they've been a huge help.
a huge boon. I mean, like you've basically replaced a $100,000 a year employee or something close to that.
Yeah.
With what you've built so far, so that's a win for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, if you're only spend, you know, I think isn't it like $500 a month per podcast or something is what it costs you to produce them. So
Yeah, more or less.
whittling that down isn't going to really get you a whole lot of.
Yeah, that's true.
Not only that, it adds so much complexity and maintenance and challenges of a software that you're now actively managing, a company that you're actively managing a software solution.
Yeah. Well, and I think to John's point too, you know, if I go out and I make more money, then I can, you know, at some point I think the scale will make it worth it. And then
Right.
and then I can put the resources toward it. But then it's not this is pulling at me for my time or my attention, because it's okay, you know.
And there's this
I've got it
amazing
running.
book called Ready, Fire, Aim by Michael Masterson.
Uh-huh.
Amazing book. He's been talking about how three phases of business. He talks about Michael Masterson is one of the guys from Agora. I think you might have heard of him, Josh.
Yep.
Right? One of the big $1 billion publishing houses. And Masterson talks about the idea that the bane of early stage entrepreneurship is diversity. Trying to do other things, trying to do too many things. And there are three phases: 0 to 1, 1 to 10, 10 to 100 million.
Yeah.
Is the under the headline or the subheadline of the book is 0 to 100 million in no time plans. It talks about 0 to 1 million is all about finding one sales mechanism, one marketing channel, one product or product system, and just killing it with that, and not even thinking about another thing. So I think until you get to that mark, you shouldn't really be testing and trying to build a new product, a new service, or doing all of that, because it's just going to delay everything.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like when what you're doing stops working or stops being effective and stops growing, then you got to find the other thing. But it's like that's why I keep on using that analogy of you're getting tired of picking up $100 bills. It's like when you start running out of $100 bills to pick up, then you need to start looking for another source. But right now, literally, the more that you work, the more that you build podcasts, the more money you make. It's just like it just goes like this. So keep on doing that until it starts to go like this, and you're like, every time I add a podcast, it doesn't really add anything. Like I can't. I need something else. The other thing I'd say about that is, and this is one of those arguments I have with my coaching clients all the time now, and I'm pretty adamant on this. Is that a lot of times people will want, well, when I'm helping them to build their business up now, they'll say, okay, well, I've got like 500 people on my email list, so I need to sell something and launch my product, and they're like, and I'm like, no, let's wait. And they're like, no, why I should just make money now, like, and then I say, well, best case scenario, like if you have really like ridiculous conversion on your list, because they're, let's say that you got a 10% conversion on your list, and you're selling a $500 product. And then they're like, oh, well, that'd be $25,000. True, correct. Yes, but the thing is, once you decide to start selling something, now you just, like, if you're just building an audience, you've got this, your business is like, you've got this certain track you're running on, right? But when you start, the moment you cut over and you say, I'm now selling something, now you have to write emails. Now you have to have a sales page. Now you have to do marketing. Now you have to do a launch. Now you have to handle customer support and refunds and all this shit. And it's like, now you've just doubled the size of the work for your business. And so if the leverage isn't enough to be worth that, like the reason why it's better to wait till you have a list of 5,000 or even preferably 10,000 is because regardless of how big your list is, the work in order to start the sales mechanism and maintain it is exactly the same. So you have a higher leverage when you've spent your time on growing, to the point that it is. And it's the same thing here is that, like, right now, like if you deploy into a different direction and you're spending these resources, at this point, like the leverage isn't enough, right? When you have 15 more podcasts, then the leverage that PodWrench will give you will be a lot more worth it. And that leverage, the money that it will save you, will actually pay an employee that will maintain and run and do the project management of that extra overhead. So it's, I see it in the horizon for sure, but it's get to the point first where you're, where like I said, like this, it stops working what you're doing right now.
So the other thing that I'm trying to figure out then is, back in March or something, I signed up to be a sponsor at Podcast Movement. And, I've already paid the money. I already have the booth space. I don't think I'm going to sink any money into like a display or anything, because it's really not at the center of what I've been doing lately. But I do want to take advantage of it because I have it and I don't think I can get my money back. So what do I do with that?
Well, how much did you pay?
$2,500.
It's not a huge amount. Just ask for your money back.
Yeah, and even if you don't get it back, is $2,500 really worth the headache of going through building a software?
Or
software?
No, I'm just trying to figure out, okay, well, I've got this resource where I'm going to get some attention at the conference. How do I maximize it for what I'm doing then?
Okay, here's what you do. Print a sign that says, I can help you get sponsors. And stick that on the thing, and they will knock you over. You're gonna be like, people will be coming up to you the whole time.
That's true.
Yeah. You might be able to pick up another podcast or two while you're there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they aren't really the techie audience there.
No, some are, but most
some of them, a few of them might be.
There'll be some that will fit as your circle expands a little bit, There'll be some D&D podcasts and some anime podcasts and some.
Every time, I mean, you also have to evaluate. Now, this is an interesting question because sometimes in life, the cost that is apparent is not the cost that is the cost. It's actually much worse or
Yeah.
much bigger. So just because you spend $2,500 doesn't really mean anything, because if you could literally make those $2,500 in 2.5 days, would you actually still be worried about
Especially if you're
investing?
paying $30 $30 a Pomodoro to not
I know, right?
not be working, right?
No,
Fuck me.
the thing is just, I'm pretty sure I'm going to wind up with, space and a table and, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Josh said. Otherwise, just ask for your money back. And if that doesn't work, you can always just also ask for
Oh, just sell your
1,500
sponsorship
back.
to someone else. Sell that
Ye-
sponsorship to someone else.
That goes against what you just said, though, Manny, because you and
Yeah.
I both know that it's easy to say sell your spot to someone else, and then it takes you 20 hours worth of work to
Oh
fucking
my
make
God.
to sell it and
Yeah.
make $2,500
20 hours
back.
is an understatement, man. It ruined
Yeah.
my life for 2 months, literally. Like, it's not just 20 hours. It's like life ruining shit like that. So that's why, like, that lesson that I'm telling you about, which is like the cost of shit. Sometimes it is way, way, way more expensive than you think it is. Even though it's like really cheap, the real cost is like 10 to 100 times more, and you just don't realize until you get into it, and you just waste so much time and energy to recoup that $2,500 investment when you could have made that money very quickly in what you do.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I really am looking at things and going, yeah, I got to stop doing that. I got to stop doing that. And then just really focusing in on, I mean, we are adding some processes too to promote the shows and things, but
What's awesome, and where I would love to get in, it's like I think the best place in business is where, like, you've got your flywheel, right? Like, that
Yeah.
growing the podcast, like, you've got this thing, and if you just keep on hitting it, it's going to spin faster and faster.
right.
But if you can get someone else on your team that has their own flywheel, right,
Mhm.
and multiple ones of these, where it's like let's say that you hire someone and they are in charge of Podwrench, right? And it's like their whole thing is they report to you and they just tell you what's going on with it, but they come up with the ideas, they manage the whole process, they do that's their flywheel. That's
eventually
really
where I want to end up.
see, that's the magic, is when you got someone else that can really like take over a piece, and then they are building that thing themselves and doing that thing over and over again,
Right.
and making it better and better. That's
Yeah, but we know how that works. Remember
yeah, it's
the
elusive.
Facebook ads escapades?
Yeah, it's hard. You have to already have momentum, and then you've got to get the right person on the bus.
I would just like go with one thing till you hit massive momentum, and
Yeah.
then worry about it when you have systemized. Like that book is really worth reading, man. Like the Zero to like Ready Fire Aim by Michael Masterson. What we're talking about is exactly like he's explaining. He's literally going down nuts and bolts, and like
Yeah.
he just keeps hounding the idea that, dude, stop fucking around with other things. Just do the one thing, one sales channel, one marketing channel,
Yeah.
one type of product, and just keep doing the damn thing 100,000 times, rather than like looking for new ways to do new things, and then suddenly you're
Right.
finding that you have 10 different arms that you're handling. Like the cost of a lot of the times, the cost of switching between stuff is way more expensive than we give it credit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Because it takes up so much mental bandwidth to be able to think about the next thing when one thing is really working, and it's very costly to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, we're probably going to launch a handful of these shows here within the next few weeks. So, like, they're recording, they're clicking along, and we're getting her done. So.
Here is like, yeah. I mean, I think we have these discussions every time, and we keep coming back to the same conclusion for all of us. Like, stop doing, like, don't try to do these.
Stop doing the extra stuff.
Do the one thing. Just do what's working.
Yep. That's the trick. That's the key.
That's the sweet sauce that we don't want to. Everyone likes to be bored and do new things.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I should go and do my Pomodoros. That's my thought.
Get her done.
Oh my god, fuck. It's not good.
So my thought is somewhat around this idea. So while I was in Portland this week, I mean, just being super focused on the handful of things that I needed to get done was really, really helpful. I got a ton of stuff done. So, we figured out a couple things on promoting the podcasts. I went and talked to a whole bunch of companies that are likely to sponsor, because I walked through the expo floor at the conference and, met up with all the people who were sponsoring the thing. I also, I have to tell you guys this real quick. So I was walking through the booths, and one of the booths was the Changelog. Adam and Jared were there. I don't know if you guys know the Changelog. Mm-hmm. It's another podcast, and they actually have like 6 shows that they produce. And so I was talking to them, and then I talked to some people from O'Reilly Media, and one of them mentioned that so the Changelog didn't actually pay for their booth, from what I understand. They did some kind of media promotion exchange to get the booth space. And then they set it up, and they were there, promoting the Changelog and all the stuff that they're doing. And so, I'm seriously looking at that now as a possible avenue for promoting the shows. But anyway, so just finding these creative ways to do it has kind of been a thing where it's like, oh, wow, if I do these handful of things, then I can increase the effort in these areas that really matter, that are part of that, tight focus. And so, and that tight focus really is just reaching more people and, making great shows and selling sponsorships. And so, anyway, it was really, really interesting, because the conference is kind of a nexus for all those things, right? Because I can meet guests, I can meet listeners, and I can meet sponsors. And so anyway, but having that tight focus really helped. And I have that 12-week year that I planned out, and I'm pretty much ignoring everything that says work on Podwrench.
Yeah.
and I did that last week, and it was nice because it was like, oh, look, I can get all this other stuff done. And so just having that tight focus and being able to do that stuff. And that's where the dilemma came in, because it's like, well, I'm ignoring this, this thing that I feel like I need to get done. And I feel a little bit better now about just, pushing it off to be the third priority after growth and sponsorships. And, and so if an opportunity arises to get something done on it, then I guess I can do it. But that's going to be after I sell all my sponsorship spots, and I have enough irons on the fire with new shows starting. So, and with the growth stuff. So
it's the book called The Acres of Diamond by Russell Conrad. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it. But so just getting that tight focus. The other thing is I didn't have any distractions because I was there by myself. So I just go back to the condo I was staying at night, or the couple of days that I kind of had free-ish. And I just sit down and I just get this stuff done. I had a couple fires to fight, but for the most part, I just got it done.
Let's see. Mine for this week is don't be afraid to waste shit. So, as I've been focusing on the most valuable, I was talking about reading on the shortness of life, and it's really made me focus more on like the thing that we give away that is actually the most valuable is our time. And a lot of times you don't want to waste things, right? So for a good example was I had an old Xbox 360. I was cleaning out stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, let me just sell this thing. And it's like $50, I think you could. And eventually I was just like, I realized, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw this in the fucking trash can. And then someone's like, well, wait, well, you should like donate it somewhere or some shit. I'm like, you know what? And they're like, well, wait a minute. You're just wasting. Like, someone could use this. I'm I'm like, why should I give a fuck if someone can use this? Honestly, like, actually answer me that question. Why should I give a fuck? It all equates down to, everything equates down to time or money.
Yeah.
And you either are going to invest time or money, and things are either worth investing your time or they're worth investing your money. And when you can invest money instead of time, you should choose to invest the money in most cases, because especially, you have that more in abundance. Time you can't get back. And so it comes down to just a lot of things. And I was thinking about it, and it's like, okay, some of the things, like as soon as I get change, if someone hands me like I used to keep quarters. I don't even keep quarters anymore. If I go to a store and I pay for something and they give me like some quarters and I just walk out and I throw all the money in the trash. I only keep the dollar bills, and that's it, right? I mean, heck, that's like, it's just an automatic thing I do now. And again, people are like, waste, or I read a book and I throw it in the trash can, and someone complains, oh, you could donate that to someone, or you could give, or you could sell it. Fuck it. Just like, what's the simplest thing that you can do that's not going to waste any time? And not just time, but your mental and thought process, right? If I spend cycles thinking about how to get rid of some shit instead of just throwing it in the trash can, that's a waste. That's the only thing truly to waste, is that time. And so, and then, you look at it and you add it up, and I was like, okay, if I make these decisions, if I'm like, if something's less than $100, if I just throw it in the trash can, and if I throw away all the pocket change I ever get for the whole year, and a bunch of other things relate to that decision, okay, how much will it cost me in a year of making that decision? It'll probably cost me, if it cost me $2,000, I would be surprised, right? So let's say that at the worst case it cost me $2,000. Okay, so would I pay $2,000 to not have to worry about any of that shit, to not have to worry about that shit at all? And the time that I would spend chasing that shit, because you don't know which rabbit hole you're chasing, right, Manny? You don't know how far that fucking rabbit hole goes, because you think it might be an hour of time, but it might be 15 or 20 or weeks of time. So just avoiding any of the rabbit holes, how much money will I make by having that time back? In excess of that $2,000. So, obviously at different points, like if you're making $40,000 a year, you probably should care if you save $2,000 a year. You should probably figure out a way to make more money. But just thinking about that, it's like, what things can you, not only what things can you cut from life, but what decisions can you not make? What shit can you just waste or throw away because it will save you time and mental stress and avoid you from going down the fucking rabbit holes of thing. Another thing I do is, like, I ordered like a hub on Amazon because I thought I was going to use it, and I paid like 15 or 20 bucks for it, and I realized I didn't need it. So I'm not returning it. I'm just going to fucking throw it in the trash can, right? Or if I happen to drive by Goodwill, I'll drop it in there. I'll put it in my car. But basically, like, brand new fucking piece of equipment, because it does not compute. If I spend the 20 minutes to do the label and to figure out how much and all this shit, it's just not worth the time. So don't be afraid to waste shit. And who cares if people judge you for wasting things? It doesn't really fucking matter. Like, I have yet to have someone give me a reason why I shouldn't waste shit. It's like, and they say, oh, well, like, the best reason is like, well, you could donate it to someone, and or you could donate it to this organization or a nonprofit. And I'm like, how about if I just donate them $100? How about if I throw this away and then just send them $100? How about that? That's better, right? Because it ultimately equates to a monetary value.
Yep. I learned the same lesson with my escapades with trying to sell stupid furniture. It was like one of the worst nightmares of my life once I got into it. What I thought would be a 2-day affair turned out to be like a 2-month affair.
Yeah.
And it was like so slow to do that process. Like, every day I'm hating being at my place. I'm hating the process of selling, and I'm like putting shit up, and I'm trying to sell it, and I'm doing all of this work. And then I have to worry about someone showing up or not showing up for like this $100 set of fucking chairs. And I'm like, what? I can't believe I'm letting myself do this. So John had the wherewithal to not even allow himself to do it. I actually went through with it, only to realize it was the worst thing ever to not. And that's why, like, going back to what Chuck was saying, we're like, yeah, you spent $2,500, but do you want to spend another $10,000 worth of your time to save $2,500? That is a much bigger question. Okay, yeah, you will say you wasted $100. Now you're gonna spend $500 of your time to save $100? Really? And that's like the calculation we never make, but that's the true calculation that's going on out there.
Yeah.
Well, my thought is the difference in sometimes the best thing to do when you tackling a creative task is to just step away and do something different and come back to it. Yesterday I was beating my head against the wall. I just was working on these emails for this blockchain promotion, and it just was not working. And so I ended up I stepped away. I just ended up taking care of like a lot of the mechanical stuff that I needed to do related to it, and then came back today, and I'm just flowing right through it. Like it's completely different experience. So you could, and the thing is when it's got to be creative, when you're doing something really creative, your experience creating it actually matters because it comes through in whatever it is that you're like. If you're miserable while you're creating it, chances are it's not going to be that much fun for people to read either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can still do your Pomodoros, but maybe pick up something else.
Yeah, that's one of the first things that Joe Sugarman talks about in his book, Adweek Copywriting Handbook.
That's a good one.
You should let go every once in a while. Come back to it again and again.
Have a couple of drinks and write some emails.
What could go wrong?
All right,
Just
guys.
going down from $25,000 to $10,000. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm probably gonna be gone next week, so someone else will probably have to launch the show this time. I'm letting
Chuck's
you know
going to
that.
be gone as well.
Yep.
So just
Just
you
when
two
I'm
guys.
back.
All right, guys. See you
Alrighty.
next time.
See you.
Get some Pomodoros then.
Yep.